Welcome to Big Papa Rob's podcast story rewind, The Missing. I'm Big Papa Rob. Each of my stories are about one of the many missing people out there. I rewind the story of a missing person in hopes that someone will hear this story and can share information to help find this missing person. There is always someone who knows something that can help find this missing person. The story I will tell you today is about Hollynn Snapp. She was last seen October 15th, 2023 in Kingsport, Tennessee. If you think Kingsport, Tennessee sounds familiar, you would be right. This is the same town that my first episode, The Missing, was about. In fact, Hollynn went missing about 5 miles from where Layla Sanantello was last seen in Kingsport, Tennessee. Because I follow Layla's mother's social media, that's how I found out about Hollynn Snapp being missing. Let's rewind this story. I don't have a lot of back history about Hollynn. I reached out to her adopted mother for more information, but didn't get any feedback. I know Hollynn was adopted when she was 10 years old by Heather Snapp. Prior to this, Hollynn had been in foster care and had been in the care of Leslie. From interviews I've seen, Leslie has stayed part of Hollynn's life even after Heather adopted her. In most of the interviews I've seen, Leslie and Heather have been together. Hollynn suffered from mental health issues and has been in and out of treatment centers across the South, including Nashville and Atlanta. Heather said in multiple interviews that Chuckey, Tennessee, where they are from, don't have the mental health facilities that Hollynn needed. I believe this is why she was in Kingsport, Tennessee. From what I understand, Hollynn moved to Kingsport, Tennessee in March of 2023. Kingsport is about 30 miles from her family in Chuckey. I noticed a post on Hollynn's Facebook page that in September she was going to attend rehab. Heather has stated that Hollynn is a very sweet and loving young lady and very trusting of people and always one to give someone a chance. I believe this is true. One of Hollynn's last activities on Facebook was to create a group called the Serenity Prayer, and stated as an opening section for this group is for addicts or addicts that are in recovery from drugs. We are here to support those who are doing the same things we are, and it's okay to have struggles, and that's why we have each other. This was literally her last post on October 2nd, 2023. Hollynn is 19 years old, but according to Heather, she functions more of a 9 to 10-year-old, which adds to the vulnerability that she is facing right now. She also looks a lot younger than she is from the pictures I've seen of her on Facebook. The last time her family, including Leslie, has heard from Hollynn was October 5th, 2023. According to Heather, they spoke almost every day, and it was very unusual and not in her character to continue to communicate with them. From limited information that is out there about Hollynn, I read that she was living with a biological aunt in Kingsport, Tennessee. I've also read, but could not confirm, that the aunt may have kicked her out. Again, I could not confirm that part of the information. The family reported her missing on October 22nd, 2023. I've seen a lot of people criticize the family on social media for waiting so long to report her missing. But you have to remember, in most cases, at least the ones that I've researched, the police will not allow you to file a missing persons report for at least a week for a young adult. I'm sure if Hollynn was seeking mental health care, the family was also spending time trying to verify she wasn't in one of those mental health facilities or rehab facilities as well before bringing law enforcement into the situation. When I started investigating this case, I heard Layla's mother make a statement on social media that she believed her daughter and Hollynn may have had some of the same friends. This caused me to dig into both their social media profiles, and even though Layla and Hollynn weren't direct friends, I did find 3 friends in common, with one particular friend standing out to me. With that said, I do believe they may have moved in at least some of the same social circles. I reported my findings to both families in case there was anything to the one particular person that I found interesting. Hollynn is listed as an endangered young adult alert in accordance to the Holly Bobo Act through the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. When I reported on Layla Santanello, she was listed as an endangered as well, with accordance to the Holly Bobo Act. I had several people ask what the Holly Bobo Act was after I reported Layla's case. I thought this time I would give you a little bit of more information on the Holly Bobo Act. The Holly Bobo Act is named after Holly Bobo, which her murder gained national attention. She was a 20-year-old nursing student that went missing from her parents' home in 2011. The Holly Bobo law expands options for endangered children alerts in Tennessee, allowing law enforcement to issue them not only for children, but also young adults under the age of 21. While these are less urgent than Amber Alerts, endangered children and young adult alerts are pushed to the media and sent out through TBI's own social media, allowing it to capture a lot of people's attention in a short amount of time. Holly Bobo Act only applies to Tennessee at this time. As far as Hollynn's case, that's all the information we have so far. The weekend of November 11th, Layla's family did another search in Kingsport, and there was news reports talking about both young ladies being missing. From what I read, I believe Heather and Leslie were involved in the searches as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that anything came from the searches for either young lady. Both of these young ladies are close to the same age, and both are fairly short, being under 5 feet tall. There has been a lot of speculation of these young ladies being victims of sex trafficking, and we pray that this is not the case. According to a news article by WJHL-TV in September, Upper East Tennessee is at severe risk for human trafficking. This also states that Sullivan County, Hawkins County, and Greene counties have a vulnerable population index score above 70%. They attribute that to the traffickers seeking out people who face additional vulnerabilities like housing and food insecurity. They try to meet the needs of these individuals that are struggling and promise to provide the need. And then they use force, fraud, and coercion to maintain control of that individual and force them into labor or sexual exploitation. I included a link to this story in my show notes. According to the TBI, human trafficking is the second fastest growing criminal industry, just behind drug trafficking. We truly hope this is not the case, but sex trafficking could be a real concern for both of these young ladies from this area. Let's talk about the details of Hollynn again. Hollynn Snapp is 4 foot 8 inches tall, weighing 110 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. She has a tattoo on her right forearm of a pyramid with an eye and a circle around it. Hollynn was last seen in Kingsport, Tennessee, near the Bell Ridge Drive area. If you have any information, please contact the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office at 423-279-7330 or contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND, F-I-N-D. Please remember, even if the information you may have is very small, it may be enough to help lead to finding this young lady. Remember, it takes several small pieces of a puzzle to make a full picture. Please check my social media. I will have pictures of Hollynn along with pictures of her tattoo posted on there. The stories I tell about the missing, I hope, arms you with new information about this missing person that might lead to finding them. Additionally, I hope that you will share the information about this missing person in hopes that by sharing it may lead to locating this person. As with almost all missing person cases, there is someone out there that knows something. Please come forward and contact the authorities. Once again, I'm Big Papa Rob, and this was an independent podcast called Story Rewind. Story Rewind, The Missing, is written, produced, and edited by Big Papa Rob. I couldn't do this without the support of my wonderful wife, aka Big Mama. For a donation to help me cover my operating costs, you can buy me a cup of coffee. You can find the link in my show notes or on my social media pages. Your support would be greatly appreciated. I would appreciate a 5-star rating if you listen to my podcast through Apple Podcasts. And finally, if you have a story idea, please contact me through my social media. A link to my social media accounts is in the show notes, along with my email. I would love to hear from you. Today's music was The Shield by Hot Dope from Pixabay. This was a Big Papa Rob Podcast 2023. See the show notes for links to the reference material used in this podcast.